Stay tuned because next up is Village Properties Realtor and host of The Hop, that's Home Ownership Podcast, here with the latest Santa Barbara real estate news.
Welcome to The Hop. This is David Charles Allen, Realtor of Village Properties in Santa Barbara, California, with my great friend and co-host, Patti Teal. I'm doing wonderful today. Patti, how you doing?
I'm doing great too, David. Thank you.
Good to hear. We got some little cloudy weather, maybe raining in the next couple days, and then looking ahead, we're temperatures in the 60s. So we had one really hot week, and then we're cooling back down to mid 60s.
Love that Santa Barbara weather.
It is beautiful. And then we've had a couple little sneaky surf swells out there too. So it's been fun. It doesn't really show up too much on the buoys, but it's been fun out there.
Yeah. And I love that term. You know, it made me laugh the first time you said it on another episode. Those sneaky surf swells that only the experienced surfers can find, I think.
Yeah. And then in terms of how the interest rates performed, slightly up since last week. So we're at 6% for 30-year jumbo and 6.125 for 30-year conforming.
Wow. So they went down a little, but now they're right back up.
It's good we're staying in the 6 range. And it's glad we're not in 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's a lot of fear that that's where it was headed. But some people have been telling me it's probably going to go back down towards the end of the year. It's really impossible to know.
Right.
Everyone's changing their mind.
Yeah.
And then in terms of how the listings have performed, we have 43 new listings, 14 price changes, 21 that closed, 36 that went pending, 3 back on the market, and 6 that are coming soon. So we're
up in the 40s.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I know we were getting close to the 40s, but that's a long time coming.
Yeah, it's been a while. And I mean, we're in May now? So usually this happens around March or so. It's a little late, but better now than never.
That's right.
And then definitely still getting a lot of buyer traffic, though, as the seller market picks up. So 36 pending. So we're not really building up supply, but more things are becoming available. So it's nice to see.
Yeah. So if somebody is in the market to purchase a home or to sell a home, how would they get hold of you, David?
Yeah, my number is 805-617-9311, and my email is david@davidcharlesallen.com.
Thank you.
Yeah, any questions today for me?
Well, a couple varied questions, David. Well, the first one, I just wanted to tell you, you were exactly right. Last week, I mentioned that I'd seen on the news that the Federal Housing Finance Agency had recalibrated the fee structure so that the people with the highest interest rates, the super credit scores, actually were paying a little bit more than those who were kind of like fair to good credit. When I read a little bit more about it, the purpose was to make it more equitable for homeowners to purchase.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's turning into that. Even if you do well, they try and cut your knees out and make it fair for someone that maybe didn't do so well. So it's not a bad thing, so to say. It's just kind of like what you're saying. People feel like they did so much to have this great score and they've always paid their bills on time, and to not benefit themselves in any way for having that. It's a tough pill to swallow, because then you're just thinking, why did I do all this in the first place if it's going to be the other way? So it's very interesting how this world works sometimes.
It is an interesting world. Yeah, that's putting it very nicely, because sometimes it's hard to make sense of it.
Yeah, it's a little confusing. What it shouldn't happen in the first place is people that have the lower score is being charged more, but to kind of turn it around and then charge the other people more on top, it should be the opposite, where they just charge the other people less. It shouldn't be the people that have the good ones get charged more. It's very weird how they kind of did it backwards, where they're like, all right, we're charging these people more, so we're going to charge other people more. It's like, oh no, we're charging these people less. How about we give these other people a little bit less?
It's a little counterintuitive. I agree.
So it's kind of a needling, getting the bottom line a little bit better. It seems like, I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah. So, and then the second thing I wanted to ask you about, David, we all know that there are a lot of celebrities in both Santa Barbara and Montecito. Well, actually, Montecito is part of Santa Barbara. But it's so funny because with Harry and Meghan now living in Montecito, and David, I have to admit, it's kind of embarrassing. I don't know why, but I'm kind of obsessed with them. I've never been obsessed with anyone before. I'm always looking at the latest YouTube about Harry and Meghan, and got to wondering if it's actually affecting people who might come and visit the area, area because it's become so well known in England, of course, that the prince lives in Montecito. And I imagine they probably had never heard of Little Montecito before, even though it's a beautiful area. I don't think it was something that everyone knew about all around the world. So I just was wondering how it might have affected things. I know Rob Lowe made a comment that made the news that the good news is the property values are going to continue to go up as more famous people come here. But bad news is it's more crowded at Starbucks. So just thought I'd get your take on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to really gauge in terms of people coming for specific reasons. We've always had a very high rate of tourism, and it's always usually seasonal as well. But we have such good weather year round that it just depends on when other people's seasons are that might be worse. Then they come here and spend more time here. You could say that maybe some people do come here because of that, but I don't think it's a dramatic thing. And kind of like what everyone else is saying, Oprah's lived here forever. Everything's kind of been on the map. More people
in the area are not too starstruck. I do understand that. Except for me, I don't know why I'm so
Yeah, people that live here don't care at all.
No, they really don't. In fact, they made a comment that the Tecolote bookstore in Montecito sold very few copies of Spare. So that was kind of interesting. But it could definitely, I would think, affect tourism if you're traveling from overseas in particular.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone's coming to be like, oh, maybe I'll find them here and run into them. They're not doing like
we hope not
or anything like that, So it's I don't know. Some people do that kind of. I mean, people go to LA and take those tour buses just to.
Well, that's true. That's true. So maybe there'll be some royal watchers. Who knows? Maybe they'll start a business.
Maybe that's the new business to start.
New business idea, right?
Celebrity bus tours.
Yeah, Harry will love that.
Right?
Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about the fur babies a minute. How are your doggies and kitty doing?
Everyone's doing really well. Yeah, they are just enjoying life every day.
Oh, I know. The dogs do enjoy life and kitties too, every day, no matter what's going on. They're just the perfect role models for us because they really don't care if it's cloudy out. They don't care if it's raining. They don't care if they're not riding in the best car. They just are happy just to get a pet and a nice dog treat and just have somebody play with them.
Yeah, I think they just need to get outside and walk. And the only thing they care about is if you're sad too. They try and lift you up. They don't like you being sad or angry. So they're really great assessors of emotions and well-being. And that's what they're there for. Just lift your spirits up, get you outside every day, get you walking in the sun, rain or shine, get you on your feet, enjoying nature. And I think that's just a beautiful thing about dogs is maybe you were not in a good mood or you just didn't want to leave the house and you're just cramped with work. You know in the back of your mind, I got to get the dog out because otherwise they're going to be
right.
And then you get out and you're like, wow, what was I doing all day? Like, this is where life is at. And thank you for allowing me to force myself to get out of the house. And
so true.
It's beautiful how they live through you like that, and you live through them after all too.
Absolutely. Well, that's a beautiful thing you said, and definitely true. And reminds me, I haven't taken mine out for a walk yet today, and I should do that.
Yeah, it's always the worst. You're just like, you have so much to do, and then it's about to get dark, and you're like, I got to take them out, and you're stressing out. And then once you get out on the walk, you're like, wow, all that stuff didn't even matter. And then they're just loving life. And
there are good teachers, that's for sure. So, David, I'm going to ask you one more time if you just give your information in case somebody tuned in a little bit late.
Yeah, my number is 805-617-9311, and my email is david@davidcharlesallen.com.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's give it a go next week, Patti.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.